In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. About what are they asking one another?
Commentary. About what are they asking each other? Surah An-Naba, Ayah 1. The word amma is made up of two particles, the preposition an, about, and the interrogative particle ma, what. The last letter, that is, ma, has been omitted according to the grammatical composition. The sense is, about what are they asking each other? Allah himself replies to the question when he says,
About the great news.
About the great event in which they dispute. Surah An-Naba, Ayat 2-3. The word Naba means news, but not every news is Naba. It means a momentous news of a great event. This refers to the news of the Day of Judgment. The verse purports to convey that the inhabitants of Makkah asked about the Day of Judgment, in which they dispute, while some of them believed in resurrection, others did not. Sayyidina Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, reports that when the revelation of Qur'an started, the pagan Arabs used to form circles and discuss and criticize it, especially about the tremendous import of resurrection and judgment referred to in the Qur'an. The pagans thought this was impossible, and they used to have protracted discussion. The disbelievers persuade themselves to believe that the predicted event will never take place, though there were others who believed in the event. The surah opens by shunning the inquirers and the inquiry. It wonders that anyone should raise any doubts about resurrection and judgment. Some of the commentators expressed the opinion that their inquiry was not a genuine one, where they were keen to learn about the truth. So they ask half mockingly and half in doubt when that event, so loudly pronounced, will happen. Qur'an has responded by asserting one statement twice for emphasis, thus,
that over which they are in disagreement.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 2 for the Tafsir.
No, they are going to know.
Truly, they will soon know. Again, truly, they will soon know. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 5. The particle kalat is negative and means never, by no means. It means here that this matter cannot be understood by question and answer or by disputation and debate. Its reality will be understood by them when they will face it. It is such a reality that has no room for questions, disputation, or denial. The Qur'an says that soon they will come to know about it, and this statement is repeated twice for emphasis. In other words, when they die, they will discover the realities of the next world. They will see the horrors of the hereafter with their eyes. Then the Holy Qur'an has pointed to different demonstrations of His power to prove that it is not impossible for Allah to destroy this entire world and recreate it once again. Reference is made to the creation of earth, mountains, human beings, males and females, and the creation of suitable conditions for human life, health, and activities. One of the things mentioned in this connection is,
then know. They are going to know.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 4 for the Tafsir.
Have we not made the earth a resting place?
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 4 for the Tafsir.
And the mountains as stakes.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 4 for the Tafsir.
And we created you in pairs.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 4 for the Tafsir.
And made your sleep a means for rest.
And made your sleep a source of rest. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 9. The word sabat is derived from sab, which means to cut off. Sleep is something that cuts off the worries and tensions one may have, and thus gives him such a rest that cannot be attained from anything else. Therefore, some scholars translate the word sabat as rest. Sleep is a great gift. After mentioning in verse Surah An-Naba, Ayat 8, that Allah has created mankind in pairs, Allah Ta'ala states in verse Surah An-Naba, Ayah 9, that among the means of their comfort, He created sleep, which is a great divine gift. Sleep is a great source of relaxation for the entire creation, for rich as well as for poor, for learned people as well as for the illiterate ones, for kings as well as for laborers. This gift is made available equally and simultaneously for all. Rather, experience shows that this gift is most readily available to the poor and laboring class, as compared to the affluent and the elite class. The latter class has all the means of comfort. They have comfortable homes, they have moderately warm and cold places, they have comfortable mattresses and pillows that are rarely available to the poor. But the gift of sleep is not dependent upon the mattresses, pillows, cottages, and bungalows. It is purely a divine gift that is given directly by Allah. Often the poor, with no means of comfort and without bed or bedding, enjoy the best sleep in an open space. Sometimes the affluent and the men of means suffer from insomnia and can only get sleep when they take sleeping pills. Often the pills do not work either. Not only that this great gift is given to all creatures, humans as well as animals, and it is given free of charge, without working for it. Allah has made it compulsory for everyone in a way that even if he wishes to keep awake because of load of work, sleep is imposed on him by Allah's mercy, so that his tiredness is removed and he is refreshed to work further. This arrangement is a wonderful means of providing rest and peace for man.
And made the night as clothing.
And made the night a covering. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 10. This points to the fact that man naturally feels sleepy when light decreases and darkness prevails, when there is tranquility all around and there is absence of noises. The verse under comment additionally signifies that Allah did not only give man sleep, but created in the entire world conditions that are suitable for sleep. That is to say, darkness of night. The state of sleep is imposed on all humans and animals simultaneously, so that they sleep at the same time. In this way, there will be peace and tranquility throughout the world. Like other works, if there are different times for different people to sleep, no one will have peace and tranquility.
And made the day for livelihood.
Thereafter the verse reads, and made the day a source of livelihood. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 11. Man requires, together with sleep, other essentials of life, such as livelihood. Otherwise, the sleep will turn into death. If the world would have had only nights and no days, and man would have continued to sleep all the time, how would he have obtained his livelihood and other essentials, whereas day is the time when he could work hard and make activities in the daylight in order to earn a living? Thus the verses under comment purport to say that Allah has, in order to complete the comforts of life, made the night a cloak and the day for earning a living. Now attention is drawn to the comforts we get from the sky. The most useful thing in the sky is the light of the sun. It is mentioned in the following verse, and created a luminous lamp, the sun. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 13. Then, among the useful things below the sky, the most beneficial and the most essential thing is the raining clouds, which are mentioned thus.
And constructed above you 7 strong heavens.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 11, for the Tafsir.
And made therein a burning lamp.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 11, for the Tafsir.
And sent down from the rain clouds pouring water.
And we have sent down from the rain, laden clouds, abundant water. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 14. The word Musrat is the plural of Musra, rain, laden cloud. This indicates that rain comes down from the cloud. There are verses, however, that indicate that rain comes down from the sky. Those verses too probably refer to upper atmosphere. There are many verses in the Quran where the word Samad is used in that sense. Having mentioned these divine blessings, the surah reverts to its original theme of resurrection and judgment.
That we may bring forth thereby grain and vegetation.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 14, for the Tafsir.
And gardens of entwined growth.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 14, for the Tafsir.
Indeed, the day of judgment is an appointed time.
Surely the day of decision is an appointed time. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 17. The day of decision refers to the day of resurrection. It is a fixed appointment. Other verses indicate that the trumpet will be blown twice. When it is blown the first time, the entire world will come to an end. When it is blown the second time, people of the entire world, the earlier generations as well as the latter generations, will be resurrected and come in multitudes and droves. Sayyidina Abu Dihar Ghifari reports that the Holy Prophet said, on the day of resurrection, people will come in 3 different groups. A group will come in the plain of gathering, whose stomach will be full, wearing clothes and riding mounts. Another group will come to the plain of gathering bare feet. And a third group will be brought on the plain of gathering being dragged on their faces. Mashari cites the following authorities: Nasai, Hakim and Bayhaqi. Some narratives report 10 types of group. Some scholars say that the groups on the plain of gathering will be divided according to their deeds and character. The narratives are not conflicting. All of them may be true.
The day the horn is blown, and you will come forth in multitudes.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 17, for the Tafsir.
And the heaven is opened, and will become gateways.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 17, for the Tafsir.
And the mountains are removed, and will be but a mirage.
And the mountains will be set in motion, so they will be as mirage. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 20. The word sayeret, set in motion, signifies that mountains, which are taken as an example of firmness and strength, will be shifted from their positions, and will become like little particles of dust flying about in the atmosphere. The word sarab literally means to disappear, and it also refers to mirage, or an optical illusion, as of a sheet of water that sometimes appears in a desert, because it seems to be a sheet of water from a distance, but when a person comes near it, it disappears. Seha and Ragib.
Indeed, hell has been lying in wait.
Surely Jahannam, the hell, is set in ambush. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 21. The word mursad means an ambush or lying in wait to attack unawares, or a secret position for surprise attack. Here hell refers to the bridge of hell. The angels of reward and punishment will lie in wait. The angels of punishment will make a surprise attack on the inmates of hell, and the angels of reward will lie in wait to accompany the inmates of paradise and take them to their abode. Mashari, Sayyidina Hassan Basri, may Allah have mercy on him, said that there will be an outpost of guardian angels on the bridge of hell. If anyone has a permit to enter paradise, he will be permitted to enter. But if anyone does not have the permit to enter paradise, he will be prevented from entering it. Qatubai.
For the transgressors, a place of return.
It is an abode for the rebellious people. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 22. The combined sense of verses Surah An-Naba, Ayah 21 to 22 is that the bridge of hell is set in ambush for all, the good and the bad. They will have to go over it. But hell is the abode of the rebellious people. The word taghin is the plural of tagai, being derived from tagyan, meaning rebellion. Thus the word tagai refers to a person who exceeds the limit in disobeying the authority of Allah. This is possible only when he gives up his faith. Hence, the word thin in this context would refer to the disbelievers. It may also refer to the stray groups of Muslims who have deviated from the limits of Quran and Sunnah, though they may not have adopted kufr expressly, such as Rawafid, Khawarij, Mu'tazila and others. As in Majari,
in which they will remain for ages unending.
Who will be abiding in it for ages. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 23. The word labithin is the plural of labith, which means one who abides. The word okab is the plural of hikba and means ages or a long time. Scholars differ on the exact length or specific amount of time meant by this word. Ibn Jarir has recorded that Sayyidina Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, states that hikba is 80 years, and the year constitutes 12 months, and every month comprises 30 days, and each day is equivalent to 1,000 years. Thus one hikba totaling about 20,800,000 years. Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, Abdullah ibn Umar, Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, and others say that one hikba is 70 years instead of 80 years. The rest of the calculation remains the same. Ibn Kathir. In Musnad of Bazar, Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, traces the following hadith to the Holy Prophet: those who will be put in hell for punishment of their sins, they will not be able to come out until they tarry therein for a few aqib. One hikbah will be a little over 80 years, and the year has 360 days according to your reckoning in this life. This tradition, though does not interpret this verse, it does explain the sense of the word okab. Some of the companions mentioned that one day is equivalent to 1,000 years. If they had heard this from the Holy Prophet, there is conflict in the narratives. In the face of such conflict, it is not possible to settle on one narration. However, there is a common denominator between the two conflicting narratives, that hikbah means an extremely long period of time. Therefore, Baydawi has interpreted the word as many long periods of time successively following the others. Problem of eternity of hell. If it be argued, as some do, that the inmates of hell, after serving the long ages in hell, will be released because no matter what the length of hikbah, it is, nonetheless, finite and limited and will come to an end sometime or other. But looking at other clear verses of the Quran, the argument does not hold up. We come across express texts like, the disbelievers shall remain therein in the fire forever. Therefore, there is the consensus of Ummah that neither hell will perish, nor will the disbelievers be released at any time. Sadi reports from Sayyidina Murrah ibn Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him, that if the inmates of hell are informed that they will abide in hell for the number of pebbles in the entire world, they will be happy even at this information, because these pebbles, though will count into billions or zillions, still they are finite. If so, their punishment will, some time or the other, come to an end. If the same information is given to the inmates of paradise, that they will abide therein to the count of billions of pebbles in the entire world, it will sadden them, because, in that case, no matter how long the space of time they will live in paradise, they will be expelled after this period. Majari. In any case, the notion that after a few okab the disbelievers will be released from hell is contrary to the explicit texts and common consent of the Ummah, and as such it is unworthy of consideration, because the verse does not mention what will happen after the okab. It merely mentions that they will have to abide in hell for ages okab. This does not necessarily imply that there will be no hell after okab, or its non-believing inmates will be released. Therefore, Sayyidina Hassan, may Allah be pleased with him, says that no specific period has been defined for the inmates of hell, so that they will be released after that. It is that which has no end to it. Whenever one hikbah era is over, a new hikbah will start. When the second era come to an end, a third hikbah will start. When the third hikbah ends, the fourth hikbah will start, and it will carry on ad infinitum. Sayyidina Said ibn Jubair, may Allah be pleased with him, also interprets the word okab as referring to the time which has no end to it. Whenever one era ends, a new era follows it until eternity. Ibn Kathir and Majari. Ibn Kathir describes another possibility which Qurtubi supports and Majari adopts. The possibility is that the word Taghin, rebellious people, probably does not refer to the disbelievers, but to the people of Tawhid, who, on account of their false beliefs, fall into one of the categories of deviant groups. Traditionalists refer to them as ululwa, heretics whose beliefs are not in keeping with the common consent of the people of Allah's Sunnah wal Jama'ah. In this case, the verse purports to say that they are the people of Tawhid, but bordered on the boundary of disbelief on account of false beliefs. They, however, did not cross into the boundary of explicit disbelief. They will therefore abide in hell for the period of okab, and then discharge therefrom by virtue of the creed of Tawhid. Majari, in support of this possibility, has cited the prophetic hadith which was reported earlier on the authority of Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, with reference to Musnad of Bazar, in which the Holy Prophet said that after the period of okab has passed, these people will be taken out of hell. Abu Hayyan, however, disputes this on the grounds of the verses that follow the present verse. They did not expect to face accounting of their deeds, and they rejected our signs totally. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 27-28. These verses contradict the possibility that Taghin, rebellious people, could be referring to people of Tawhid and deviant groups, because in the concluding verses it is expressly mentioned that they explicitly reject reckoning and utterly deny the prophets. Likewise, Abu Hayyan rejects out of hand Muqatil's opinion that this verse is abrogated. A group of commentators find a third interpretation of this verse. A statement after this verse, namely, will taste nothing cool in it, nor a drink, except boiling water and pus. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 25, is circumstantial clause to okab, in which case the verse purports to say that for the countless eons of okab that they will be in hell, they will not be tasting any coolness of air, nor any food or drink excepting for boiling water and scalding pus. When the okab is over, the condition may change, and other kinds of punishment may be imposed. The word hamam means intensely boiling water. If brought near the face, it would burn its flesh, and when put into the stomach it would cut into pieces the internal organs. The word gasak means blood and pus, and washings of wounds that will ooze from the inmates of hell.
They will not taste therein any coolness or drink.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 23, for the Tafsir.
Except scalding water and foul purulence.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 23, for the Tafsir.
An appropriate recompense.
This being a recompense in full accord with their deeds. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 26. The punishment given to them in hell will be based on justice and equity, a fitting recompense on account of their false beliefs and evil deeds. They will not be wronged in the least.
Indeed, they were not expecting an account.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 26, for the Tafsir.
And denied our verses with emphatic denial.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 26, for the Tafsir.
But all things we have enumerated in writing.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 26, for the Tafsir.
So taste the penalty, and never will we increase you, except in torment.
So now taste. We will never add to you anything, except torment. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 30. In other words, in the world they continue to add disbelief. If death did not overtake them by coercion, they would have continued to add disbelief, and to date their punishment will be increased. Thus far the punishment of disbelievers was depicted. As opposed to this, the reward and blessings of the righteous believers are depicted below.
Indeed, for the righteous is attainment.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 30, for the Tafsir.
Gardens and grapevines,
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 30, for the Tafsir.
and full-breasted companions of equal age,
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 30, for the Tafsir.
and a full cup.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 30, for the Tafsir.
No ill speech will they hear therein, or any falsehood.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 30, for the Tafsir.
As reward from your Lord, a generous gift made due by account.
This being a reward from their Lord, a suffering grant. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 36, the blessings of paradise described above is the reward of the believers, and is an abundant grant from their Lord. Here two things are mentioned. First, these blessings are a reward of their deeds. Secondly, they are a divine grant. Apparently, they seem to be contradictory, because reward means receiving something in lieu of doing some service, whereas grant is given gratis. The Quran has combined the two words in order to indicate that the blessings of paradise are reward for the inmates of paradise only apparently, and in reality they are a divine grant given to them gratis, because human deeds cannot be the reward of even those blessings which were given to him in the world, let alone the blessings of the hereafter, which depend entirely on divine grace, as is confirmed by the tradition of the Holy Prophet. No one can enter paradise merely by virtue of his deeds, unless Allah shows his grace. The companions asked, "What about you, Messenger of Allah?" He replied, "Nor will I enter paradise merely by virtue of my action." The word hisaban has two meanings, a grant that is sufficient and abundant. This meaning is adapted from the following idiom. Asabtu means that I gave him so much so that it was sufficient for him until he yelled out enough. This is too much for me. And the second meaning, balancing of account and comparing. Sayyidina Mujahid, may Allah be pleased with him, says that in this context the verse purports to say that the divine grant will be given gratis to the inmates of paradise. The grant will be in keeping with the degree of sincerity as reported in authentic traditions. The deeds of the noble companions are greater than the deeds of the rest of the Ummah. If a companion were to spend in the way of Allah 1 mud equals 815 grams, and a non-companion were to spend to the equivalent of Mount Uhud, the companion's 1 mud will weigh heavier than the mountain. And Allah knows best.
From the Lord of the heavens and the earth and whatever is between them, the most merciful. They possess not from him authority for speech.
No one will have power to address him. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 37. This sentence is probably connected to the preceding verse, this being the reward from their Lord, a sufficing grant. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 36. In this case, it would mean that when Allah grants a certain grade of reward, no one dare speak about the grade as to why someone got more and others got less. But if the sentence is treated as an isolated one, it will mean that no one in the plane of gathering will have the power to speak to him without his permission. This permission will be granted in some of the positions of gathering, and not in others.
The day that the Spirit and the angels will stand in rows, they will not speak except for one whom the most merciful permits, and he will say what is correct.
On the day when the Spirit and the angels will stand in rows, they will not speak except the one who is permitted by the Rahman, the All-Merciful, and speaks aright. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 38. Spirit, according to some of the commentators, refers to the angel Jibril. He has been mentioned before the other angels in general in order to show the greatness of his status. According to certain prophetic traditions, Red is not an angel but a huge army of Allah. They have heads, hands, and legs. In this interpretation, there will be 2 rows. One row will be that of Ra, and the other will be that of the angels.
That is the true day. So he who wills may take to his Lord a way of return.
See Surah An-Naba, Ayah 38, for the Tafsir.
Indeed, we have warned you of a near punishment, on the day when a man will observe what his hands have put forth, and the disbeliever will say, "Oh, I wish that I were dust."
Day when one will see what his hands have sent ahead. Surah An-Naba, Ayah 40. Apparently, this refers to the Day of Judgment. Every person will see his deeds with his own eyes in the plane of gathering. This might happen in one of 2 ways. His ledger of deeds will be given in his hands, and he will see it, or his deeds will appear in the plane of gathering, epitomized in a visible shape, as certain narratives confirm this. Still, a third possibility exists. The word day may refer to the day of death, and the words will see means to see in the grave or barzakh, as explained by Majari, and the disbeliever will say, "Oh, would that I had become dust." Surah An-Naba, Ayah 40, Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, reports that on the day of resurrection the entire earth will become a plain surface where all human beings, jinn, domesticated animals and wild animals will be gathered. If one animal had wronged another animal in the world, it will be given the opportunity to take its revenge. If a goat with horns had wronged a goat without horns, it will be granted the opportunity to take its revenge. When this phase is over, all animals will be commanded to become dust. They will become dust. At that moment the disbelievers will wish that they were also animals and would become dust like them, so that they would have been spared the torment of reckoning and punishment of hell. We seek refuge in Allah from it. Allah knows best.